can you rely on when the chips are down? Call on Mumphy when you need defending. Braver than a bulldog, brighter than a clown. Here comes Mumphy with the happy ending. With his faithful friend the Scarecrow, he's got dreams enough to share. So if you want adventure, this is where to start. If you need a hero who can play the part, the little pachyderm with the great big heart.
It was that time of year when everyone gets ready for the winter ahead. The trees had thrown off their leaves, and Mumphy and Scarecrow were raking them up again. First we raked them into little heaps. Then we rake the little heaps into bigger heaps, and then we rake the bigger heaps into one great big pile. And what do we do with the great big pile? We wait until it rots, and then we put it back on the garden. The garden likes that. Mumphy didn't quite see the point of this, but Scarecrow was the gardening expert, and so he was happy to do as his friend suggested. But a little gust of wind had other ideas. Oh dear. Oh. This is too bad. Anyone would think the wind was doing it on purpose. It probably is. When I was in my field, there was this one little gust of wind that would play tricks with me all day long. It would flap my jacket, blow down the back of my neck, up my trouser legs. It was very off-putting. What did I tell you? It's playing with us. Well, if it wants to play games, we can play games too. Next lot of leaves. Put them in the rain barrel. The wind will just dive in after them. Shh, that's the idea. What's the idea?
You'll see.
I wonder where we can put the leaves. Who are you talking to? You. We'll have to put them somewhere the wind can't get them. Shh. If you talk that loud, the wind will hear you. I want it to hear me. Oh. I don't think I'm getting the hang of this. It's all right, Scarecrow. You will. I know. Why don't we put them in the rain barrel? They'll be safe there. If the wind dives into the barrel, be ready to slam the lid. Ah, now I understand. It's a trick. Shh. Here it comes. Got you! Well done, Mumphy. I don't know. It sounds a bit cross. We'll let it out when we finish raking the leaves. I don't think it can wait that long. Oh, my hat! Come back with my hat! It's gone. My hat's gone. Scarecrow had known his hat since the first day he stood in his field as a fully fledged scarecrow. It was as much a part of him as his nose or his feet. I'm sorry about your hat, Scarecrow. Not as sorry as I am. It's all my fault. I'm the one who made the wind cross. I wish I had a beautiful hat like yours. Then I'd give you mine. Thank you, Mumphy. But there's only one hat my head really wants. There were some days I wouldn't know who I was till I put it on. Mumphy knew exactly what Scarecrow meant. There were some days he felt exactly the same way about his pink jacket. No, Mumphy. Without my hat, I don't look anything like me. We'll get you another hat. We'll have a party and ask each of our friends to bring along a hat they don't need. Perhaps you'll find one you like. It won't be the same. It can't be the same, but sometimes you can find something different that's almost as good. Scarecrow felt sure that he would never find a hat to match the one he'd lost, but he saw how hard Mumphy was trying to help, and so agreed to the idea of a hat party. Everyone came, and to Mumphy's delight, they all brought hats. Scarecrow tried to look happy, for he knew that everyone meant well, but he also knew that if he was true to what he was really feeling in his heart, they would all get up and go home. When I'd heard you'd lost your topsail, so to speak, I knew how sad you must be feeling. My pirate days are long gone, but this 'ere hat is the badge of my pride and my shame. When we scuppered the good ship Antebellum, it was just such a hat as this I was wearing, in the days when I should have known better, but didn't. Glug, glug she went, and she sank beneath the raging seas, and I felt such fierce glee that I took my hat and threw it into the air. Of course, I had it on a bit of string in case it fell overboard. I'd lost too many hats that way. That's how I come to have this spare, and I'm only too happy to let you have it if it suits your fancy. That's very kind, Captain. How does it feel? Quite comfortable, really. Get up and walk around in it. Feel the planks heaving under you, and the salty spray in your nostrils, and the glug-glug of a sinking ship in your luggles. What do you say, matey? I feel sort of seasick.
Well, of course that hat isn't him. Scarecrow's no pirate. He's a respectable, solid citizen. In fact, being made of wood, he's the solidest I've ever met. Naturally, I've done a little reading on the subject. The International Guide to a Safe and Suitable Headgear for all factory, field, and domestic worker units.
But does it say anything about scarecrows?
A stationary alfresco unit is a scarecrow, and paragraph 27A, subsection 3, strongly recommends something to keep the sun out of your eyes and your head dry when it rains. Here is just the thing. It was a free gift from Everclean washing powder. Free? You mean you got it for nothing? Didn't cost me a penny. All I had to do was buy 50 extra cartons of laundry powder. Oh well, I suppose it'll all come out in the wash.
What do you think? It's very, sporty, but totally unpractical. If you want something to keep the rain off, you want something like this. And if the sun's in your eyes, you just turn it round. Forgive me, mon ami, but I have to say that is a really ugly hat. There is such a thing as style, and in France, that is our specialty. If you were to climb to the top of the Eiffel Tower in that hat, you would still be lower than the height of French fashion. Try this on for size. Oh. What kind of hat is that? It is a beret. C'est chic, n'est-ce pas? Where's the rest of it? Rest of it? It's got no front. It's got no back. That's not a hat. That's a soggy black dumpling. Dumpling? It's very chic, like you say, Napoleon. But I think Scarecrow would suit a hat with a bit more colour. Isn't it lovely? There are times, especially with friends, if you don't want to be unkind, it's best to say nothing at all. So without answering, Scarecrow tried on the hat. I don't see what you find so funny. This is a beautiful hat. I'm quite upset now. I think I need a cup of tea. It's a beautiful hat, Mrs. Admiral, but it's not for me. None of them are. How can you be sure? You said you didn't know who you were without your hat on. That was before I tried on all these different ones. None of them are me. But every time I took one off and looked in the mirror, there I was back again. I suppose I always really knew who I was. I just thought I needed my hat to be sure. Mrs. Admiral had lit the fire to make tea, but smoke was filling the room.
There must be something blocking the chimney. Have a look outside.
Look, it's my hat. The breeze must have left it there.
Best get that hat down, Napoleon, or Mumphy's whole house will smell like a rasher of hickory smoked. Whatever takes your fancy.
Oui, madame. Thank you, Napoleon. I still say the beret is more chic? Yes, but this is more me. Oh, yes, Scarecrow. That's definitely you. Thank you all for bringing your hats. And if it's all right with you, I'd like to borrow them for a bit. Just in case I ever want to take a holiday from myself.
Well, of course you can, dear. Now I'll get the tea made and set out those cakes.
Cakes, eh? Scrummy homemade cakes.
I hope they're not fattening.
Isn't it a little late to worry about that? Scarecrow,
Yes?
if, ever you do take a holiday from yourself, what? Can I come too?